Welcome back to Walking and Chewing on this dreary New Jersey Wednesday as we walk in the beautiful backwoods here together and reflect on God's Scripture. This past Sunday, Pastor Matt preached on John 10, a wonderful passage in Scripture, really probably one of my very favorite passages in all of Scripture. That could be mined for weeks or months even. For all of the glorious truths about Jesus Christ in that text. But he focused in on John 10:16, and there's two particular truths in John 10:16 that Jesus, as the Good Shepherd, shares in that text. The first is that Jesus explains to the Jewish audience that he's speaking to that he has other sheep that are not of the flock, and so there are other sheep. There's other a broader context that Jesus is seeking out. And the second is that flock will one day be gathered, and there will be one flock and one shepherd. And that's just a tremendous hope and picture of the reality that Christ has for us in His kingdom. And so I want to focus in on, Pastor Matt gave us 7 initiatives, really practical initiatives of how we can incorporate missions in our own lives. And I just want to sort of zero in on one of those as an encouragement for you today. And that initiative is just to develop intentional relationships with a missionary, to develop our global network in terms of our own interpersonal relationships. And I would really encourage you to do that today. And let me sort of put that in contrast with another way that you can become involved in missions, which is a great way as well, but I just want to make sure, and I think that what's great about this charge that Pastor Matt gave us is that it can help sort of provide the counterbalance to this. Now, if you go on, one way that I pray for missions is by using the Joshua Project. If you go on the web, you can find that at www.joshuaproject.net. Great site. They'll send you out a daily email if you want to pray for an unreached people group. Really encourage you to do that and use that. It's a great tool. But part of the thing with that is that it can, even though it can sort of expand your understanding and your prayer life for missions, one thing that it doesn't do is it doesn't expand your own personal connections and your own personal involvement in terms of the relationships that you have with those communities. And a personal relationship with a missionary can do exactly that. And so I'd encourage you to pray for an individual missionary. And to do so is just a real benefit to you and a real benefit to them as well. Just sort of speaking personally, we've begun praying for the Nacimentos personally as a family, but also our small group has adopted them and to pray for them, and that's just been a great relationship. They spent some time up at Westerly, about 6 months or a year, and got to know them pretty well over that time, and we're blessed by them, and now we're able to sort of remain in email contact with them and pray for them on just a whole new level. So I'd encourage you to do that. Reach out to Corrine. If you don't go to Westerly, reach out to your own global outreach director or mission director, or whatever you call them at your church, and just establish that relationship. It'll bless you, it'll bless them as well, and it'll move forward the kingdom of Christ and in making us what He's calling us to be eventually, which is one flock under one shepherd. What a beautiful picture. Have a blessed day. I look forward to seeing you next week.